Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, this movie wasn't all that good. Yo, runners, you're at home with a geek? I'm Mark, aka the little black dude. I watched Ghost in the Shell to prove to myself there's hope for remakes and reboots of older properties. I hoped my jaded thoughts were unfounded as I walked into the theater, and I sat down and waited to see what all the money spent on Black Widow paid for with bated breath. You saw the intro. The biggest issue this movie had is the same issue Final Fantasy The Spirits Within had: expectations and the inability to meet them. Ghost in the Shell had 3 movies: the 1995 original, a sequel in 2004, and an animated remake in 2015. Each had its own feel, but could accurately be called Ghost in the Shell. No one would dispute they were installments of the same franchise. Standalone Complex, the Ghost in the Shell animated TV show, built the world some more, and gave us more contact with the lives of the characters like Bato, Togusa, and Saito. We learned about who they were, and what kind of life a Section 9 officer could expect to have. All that didn't seem to appeal to the creators of the 2017 live-action remake. This movie was watchable, had beautiful scenery, and a decent blend of both practical and CG special effects. The costumes were referential to the movies and the TV series, to a point where I could identify where I saw different clothes the Major wore and say, she wore this in that scene, she wore that in this scene. And some of the action scenes were well designed. However, the flaws of this movie overshadowed all the points that could be considered interesting. When there are bullets flying and people dropping like flies, when there's a mound of bodies pulling the Major down into an abyss, when there's a room full of people who are being ghost hacked, why am I not excited or moved? I didn't see anything that wasn't in the trailer for this movie that made me go, whoa! Or, awesome! Or, that's appropriate here. Ghost in the Shell is the worst offender of trailer fodder I have seen in a long time. The city is a gross abuse of the power of CGI. In the animated movie, there's some digital effects. There's times when Section 9 shows what they're doing with a 3D model of a building. There's a CG model of the Major's cybernetic body being built. And there are some digital advertisements in the movie. All these elements show the reliance of the city on technology and highlights the weakness of relying too much on it. In the live action, the city is advertisements, with a few buildings thrown in for a change of pace. Some of the ads are as big as skyscrapers, and they advertise nearly the same things. No reason for them after the first time or two we see them, since they're all variations on the theme, cybernetic parts, you need them because reasons! There are about 3 scenes that were lifted straight from the original animated movie, but they're done quite nicely. If you saw the trailer, you saw one of the big ones. The other 2 that I took notice of were the intro and the fight scene at the end. The only reasons that these 3 were put in were 1, for the trailer, and 2, the hopes that nostalgia will make the fans forget the movie completely forgot what it was remaking. Having the scenes was good, but they didn't make much sense for the direction the movie was going. This is an action movie. So why did I have to wait for action for so long? And when there was action, I was bored. This is not good. No matter what movie, if you're bored during an action movie, something's wrong. It wasn't just the action scenes either. There was very little passion in this movie. Moments that in the animation would have got my blood pumping, either from excitement or shock, failed to land the punch this movie desperately needed. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm saying it's ungraceful. This movie to me is the equivalent of trying to walk on an icy sidewalk in ballet shoes. It can be accomplished if you do it just right, but it's painful to attempt. When millions of dollars worth of casting, sets, computer elements, practical effects, writing, and editing come together for a solid meh, a piece of the puzzle is missing. I believe that piece is Motoko Kusanagi. Yeah, the character Scarlett Johansson is playing isn't Motoko Kusanagi. Her name is Mira Killian. I think this is what broke me. Change the title, and I would have at least tried to relate to Mira and attempt to understand why she acted as she did, rather than saying, no, the Major would definitely handle that differently. About 10 times during the movie. Like Final Fantasy The Spirits Within, Ghost in the Shell intended to do something different, but wanted to appeal both to newcomers and fans by taking a franchise name and attaching it to a film with some unique ideas. The hope was that fans would accept it and people who never saw it would enjoy it and perhaps try to check the original out for fun. Only half of that was accomplished with Ghost in the Shell. There's only one thing I was completely confused about, and it was totally out of place. Chief Aramaki was played by Kitano Takeshi. Throughout the entire movie, he speaks in Japanese. While I enjoyed it, 2 questions kept coming up. Why is he speaking Japanese? And why is no one else? Every other character in this movie speaks English. Even the only other Japanese person we see on camera, Momoi Kaori, speaks in English. Most of the movie I thought that, until Saito answered Aramaki in Japanese. Once. If you're a fan of the Ghost in the Shell movies, the manga, or standalone complex, you will be disappointed in this movie. It gives iconic visuals from the movies, but fails to build up the emotions needed to make them work. It takes ideas that were proven to go well with the story and essentially botches the delivery. When it does something right, the movie decides, yep, that's good enough, time for a long lunch, and gives the viewer very little to enjoy for long stretches. If you're not a fan, do yourself a favor and don't watch or read anything until after you watch this movie, if you're interested enough to even see it. The effects are good, the fight scenes can be entertaining, and the ending isn't too painful. The best part of the movie for me was the redone choral song from the original movie being in it. Love that song. If I had to grade it, the movie would get a D+. There was potential, there was effort made, but it was severely misplaced. Thanks for watching my video. Now I want to hear from you. Did you check out Ghost in the Shell, and what were your thoughts on it? Are there any movies that are out now that you want me to review? Leave a comment in the down low. Let me know what's going on, or leave a comment on my Facebook or on my Twitter. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'm always happy to meet new people. And if you liked this video and want to check out some more of my stuff, there'll be some videos over here somewhere. Until next time, this is the Little Black Dude. Stay geek and proud.